Cherry Bombs. It is me, Cherry, and I'm finally back with another story time for you guys. Today's story is actually a rah-rah story, so hopefully you guys don't get the impression that I always be turning up, but I tend to tell you guys my more dramatic stories, and this one is dramatic. So before we get into this story time, I do want to say that I am debating on if I'm going to put the celebrity hotel story just as a regular story time, or if I'm going to put it as a membership, because to be completely honest, people did entirely too much in the comments for my last story time about I can't even remember what I titled it. I think I titled it like Night with the Slut. I don't know what the heck I titled it, but people did entirely too much for the comments. If I say do not put somebody's name, then it is entirely disrespectful to then go in the comments and put their name to like prove that you know who I'm talking about. Y'all could have easily just said, oh, I have an idea who you're talking about, and plenty of people did. They just said, oh, I have an idea who you're talking about, or I think I know who you're talking about, but they didn't drop a name and they just kept it pushing. But then there were so many people that did proceed to drop a name that I had to block that person's name out, which is why I am hesitant to give you all another story time that involves anyone of status or anything recent, because people just didn't know how to act. So we will see about that. So today's story time is going to be something else, and it is going to be about a semi-wild night I had in the club, of course in the club Chronicles of the booty club. Hooray! Yes, so before we get into this story time, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All my social medias are linked down below. Please turn notifications on, because if you don't have them on, you will miss me. And I also have a short hair tutorial for you guys before we get into this story. I am wearing Lux Marie Co hair. That is the tutorial that you are about to get before we get into this story time. So this is a 26-inch honestly, if I were to say what the texture was, I think the texture is more like a kinky straight or like a yaki straight or something. Because if I'm being completely honest about the hair, now that I've had it in, I've had this hair now actually for 3 weeks now. And I've been actively wearing it the whole 3 weeks because I've been trying to get this hair tutorial up for 3 weeks. So I've been actively wearing it for 3 weeks. Now that I have a more updated opinion about the hair, I do feel like it sheds a considerable amount. And I'm not sold on the texture of the hair, as well as the wig itself, to me personally, is really thin. But as far as the company itself, and I even said this in the tutorial, I feel like that is because I got a wig versus getting bundles. I feel like a lot of the time you tend to get better quality when you get bundles, and like if you get bundles in a closure, I feel like you get thicker bundles, you get a lot more hair, and the quality tends to be better. So that is not this person's fault. It's more so vendors just trying to stretch and be cheap. So but as for the actual hair company I got it from, the girl is super sweet, black owned, and communication has been great. So please shop with her. I'm not saying don't shop the hair. I'm just saying that I would recommend you get bundles in a closure, in my honest opinion. And you guys know that I give honest opinions on my channel. So we're going to get into this tutorial, and then we're going to get into this story time. So this is the hair fresh out of the pack. The wig comes with an elastic band already in it, and then it has 3 combs, 2 on the sides and 1 in the middle. Clearly I can't count. It has 4 combs because there's 1 in the back as well. And then this is how the lace looks, and the wig looks on the inside. And then this is the hairline before anything is customized or plucked or bleached. So this is how the hairline comes on the wig. For this part right here, normally I would do this on the wig head, but I've been noticing that every time I do it on the wig head, I am bleaching hair along with my knots. So the goal today is not to bleach the roots of my hair and just bleach the knot. I'm using BW2, the Superstar 40 volume developer, and then I've already mixed it. So one of my guilty pleasures is watching those loyalty test videos. I honestly be in shock because they don't be getting mad enough for me. But I'm just going to pull some of this hair up so that nothing is touching the bleach. And then we're going to go to the next step. So now I'm going to use this L'Oreal purple shampoo to wash the knots. So this was the knots after going through and bleaching them twice, because the first time it came out kind of orangey, so I bleached them again. So I bought some blonde bundles off Amazon. Honestly, they didn't have the best reviews, but I knew that I didn't want to keep it in long term. I just wanted to add some color, so I won't be plugging them. So right here, I'm just checking to see if this blonde hair is actually 26 inches like I ordered, because when you do the Asian companies from overseas, they always short you when it comes to longer lengths. The ends get really thin at the end, as you can see. So you're going to want to put all the hair into the water and then let it sit for about 4 to 5 minutes. So this is the hair after the first immersion from bottle number 1 of the hair color. And then I'm going to do this one more time with the second bottle of hair color. Again, this is the color after the first dye. And this is the color after the second dye. Then I'm going in with some BioSilk before I blow out the hair. I'm just going to put a pea-size amount. So I didn't record the plucking process because it's so tedious, but this is the side that I already started plucking. You're going to want to use a white towel so you can see what's going on. And then this is the side that I have not yet plucked, just so you guys can see the difference in the plucked side and the one that hasn't been touched yet. So this is the hair bundles that I dyed in the sunlight. So this is me beginning to sew those tracks in. I tried to keep everything towards the front because I didn't want color in the back of my hair. Also, I could have glued them, but I'd rather sew versus have a bunch of glue in my wig. So right here, I know it doesn't look like it, but this hair is in the middle part. It's just that one side has a little bit of color added into it. And I'm going in and cutting some layers into the hair. But as you can see, for this hair to be in the middle part, the thickness on the side that doesn't have any pink in it yet is pretty thin. So right here, enjoy my super size me jumbo head. But I've already glued down the wig cap, and now I'm applying some Sephora powder. Granted, I really would recommend applying the powder before you glue down the wig cap, just so you don't have, I don't know if you guys can see in the front, but how the powder is kind of like changing colors and the consistency is kind of weird. So I would definitely suggest doing the powder before you glue down the cap and then gluing down the cap. So this is the wig on. This is my first time doing the whole applying the wig and then cutting the lace method. So I'm just going through and unsticking some of the hairs that were stuck, and then I'm going to start cutting, but I'm trying to make sure I don't cut it in a straight line. I kind of want that jagged effect because straight lines are easier to see when it comes to wigs and lace. So I'm just going through and trying to cut it a little jagged. Also, if you're new here and you're wondering what that line is on my forehead, that white line, I always use a white eyeliner to draw a guideline for myself. I know not a lot of people do that, but for me personally, if I can't see a guideline, I will put glue where glue does not need to be. I'm horrible at eyeballing it, so I'm just going to take a little bit of alcohol and I'll wipe that off later. Now I'm going to take this NK concealer in the color 02, and I'm going to use it to define the parting of my wig. So I'm just going in with the angled brush and defining that part. And so just a heads up, these curls did not come out the way that I wanted them to. So in the next clip, you're actually going to see the hair straight in the final result video. But yeah. Okay, you guys, so I'm about to show you guys the hair. I'm in Houston at the Airbnb right now, but I'm gonna show you guys the hair and give you just my thoughts and feelings about it. So this is the hair. The only thing though is, in my personal opinion, the ends of this wig are extremely thin. If I'm being completely honest, it makes the hair look stringy because of how thin they are. Like, I don't know if y'all can. So now that I have the door closed so y'all can see the wig, the ends are really thin. I do not like how thin the ends are. And normally when I do like longer wigs and stuff, I like to get, so basically I feel as though, and this is again, honest review, love the customer service. The girl I got it from, super dope. The wig came super quick. The only other thing that I would say that I didn't like about this wig, is it has an extremely strong smell. And even when you straighten it, sometimes you can still kind of, when you put heat to it, you can still kind of smell it. Like I washed it like, I washed it like 3 or 4 times because it definitely had a strong smell. But that is my honest review. And either enjoy the story time if I put this within a story time. So this story happened at the beginning of December. This was like a week before my birthday. And I can't remember if it was no, I think it was like a semi-slow night. Like it wasn't all the way slow, but it wasn't like busy either. So, long story short, because this is not a long story, I was kind of like making my rounds around the club, trying to get a feel for who wanted to get dances or whatever. But, there was a girl that I haven't seen her in a long time, but she is super cool. And it was a, black girl that used to dance at the club, and like on and off I would see her periodically. And so there was this, I don't know if she's like, I think she's Spanish, either Spanish or I think she's just like a white looking Spanish girl. And y'all know when I say Spanish I really mean Latin American or Hispanic, but up north I always say this is, they call them Spanish, so that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give the first girl I was telling you about, the black girl, I'm gonna call her Coco, because I was looking at my cocoa butter and I love this cocoa butter lotion. That's so random, but that's what I was looking at. So I'm gonna call her Coco, and then the Spanish girl I'm gonna call Blondie because she had blonde hair. So I'm making my rounds, and I at one point I walked up to Coco, and Coco was like, oh, let's try this section over here. And I'm like, okay, cool, because there's not a lot of other things going on in the club. So I'm like, okay, cool. So in this section there was a guy and his girlfriend, and then I think there were either 2 more girls in the middle, or there was another couple, and I just know there were like 2 couples and there was like 1 extra person. So in the beginning of the night, myself and Blondie, mind you, I don't know Blondie personally at all, but myself and Blondie had ended up in a section together. Like we were dancing, we weren't partnered up, but we just both ended up in the section. So you know, we did our little thing or whatever, and then we had both, you know, drank with them a little bit and then sat down on the couch, because we could tell like they were kind of like, you know, sections, when they burn out, they burn out. You can tell when they done throwing money or whatever. So the section I got burnt out. So Blondie had looked over at me and she's like, yeah, I'm about to get out of this section. I was like, girl, me too. So we get out of that section, and then we're both like doing our own thing throughout the night or whatever. Again, I didn't know this girl. We just both ended up in that section. So yeah, I'm making my rounds, and I ended up walking up on Coco at one point, and Coco was like, oh, let's go try this section. And I'm like, okay, cool. And Blondie was in the section, but she was already dancing on, like, it was a group of people, and Blondie was just dancing on one of the guys, kind of like, it looks like a one-off. So she's dancing on the guy. Me and Coco go into the section and talk to the other side of the section, like the other people. And so when I walk up, there are like 2 girls sitting. There's like the guy that Blondie's dancing on. There are 2 girls in between another guy, and then there's like 1 more guy with them as well. So I think, what is that? I think it was like 5 people. So I didn't realize that the girl was Blondie's, like, the guy that Blondie was dancing on, I guess the girl that was sitting beside him was like his girlfriend. But the way that the group was sitting, it just looked like they were just all, you know, like friends or whatever. They were just out. So I think it was the girlfriend's first time at the strip club, or like her birthday or something, to the extent of like me and Coco being like, oh my God, yeah, we're about to show you a good time, like whoopty woo. And so the guy gives his girl money to throw, and then the other guy, because I think it was, so I'm making this way more complicated than it has to be. It was two couples, and then they had a friend with them as well. So Blondie's guy is with the girl that I'm talking to. And so he gives her money to throw, and then he also, you know, keeps throwing money on Blondie. And then the other guy from the other couple gives his girl money to throw on Coco. So we're dancing on the girls. We're not communicating with the guys, no nothing. Not disturbing anything that they already had going on, because it's like, at the end of the day, dancer etiquette. I'm not about to walk up and start talking to the person that you're dancing on, because that's rude. So I walked up and I'm talking to the girls in like this side of the section. Me and Coco are talking to the other side. So the guy that Blondie is dancing on makes it a point to introduce himself to me. And I could tell right then and there, I said, ooh, I know what's happening right now. He's catching a vibe. He likes me better. This is not me trying to be cocky, but sometimes you can tell. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, because he literally went out of his way. Like, Blondie is dancing on him, and he's like, he had said something to me, like he was like trying to talk to me. Mind you, I was not addressing this man. He was going out of his ooh, excuse me. He was going out of his way to talk to me. So as I'm dancing on his girl, so I'm talking to the girl. I literally was in her face talking to the girl. But I'm also not gonna be rude. So when he started talking to me, I'm responding, but I'm still paying more attention to his girlfriend.
Yeah, so editing Cherry here. This little part of the video got cut out, but basically what I was saying in this part of the video, which will make the next part make sense, was the customer that Blondie was dancing on, so the girlfriend's guy, he went out of his way to introduce himself to me. Like, he was already going out of his way to talk to me, because the way that he had to lean over to, like, he had to lean over and kind of bend down at one point, because I was doing, like, I was dancing on the girlfriend, but then I would, like, kind of, like, dance, like, low, and then come back, like, and, like, you know, like, be on her lap and stuff like that. So he was, like, leaning down, or, like, he would lean over to, like, basically, like, ask me things or talk to me, like, not in a weird way. Like, he wasn't saying nothing crazy, and he was still throwing money on Blondie, but he was, like, making an active effort to talk to me as well. So at one point, like, while he's doing this, he asks, like, he stands up, and he's like, and I think I was standing by this point too, because I was like doing something on the girlfriend, but I was like standing. Or no, I think I was dancing in front of the girlfriend, but I was standing up at this point. So he stands up and he asked me what my name is. So again, I'm being responsive, but I'm still like really just in the girlfriend's face, because I'm like, at the end of the day, dancer etiquette, like, you got a dancer in front of you. I'm not about to be trying to be, you know, up on you or trying to get your attention or whatever. So since I can see you're going out of the way to talk to me, I'm going to respond, but I'm not about to, like, I don't know, like, I'm not trying to take any attention off of the dancer that's already in front of you. So when he has stood up to introduce himself, well, to ask me my name, he starts to reach his hand out as I'm saying, like, and I'm not expecting him to reach his hand out. I'm just expecting him to just go, like, you know, oh, like, you know, because he had asked me, like, what's your name? And so as I'm answering, he's reaching his hand out to, like, shake my hand, like, to introduce himself. And so that's where this next part comes in.
So I'm reaching to shake his hand to give him my dance name. Blondie literally intercepts the handshake, grabs my hand, and is like, oh, I'm so-and-so, nice to meet you. And I'm like, oh, you trying to be funny, bitch. I'm about to be a comedian. I like jokes. And I like smoke. So come on, let's do this. So she does that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even about to trip, because I am one to, y'all, when I say I will exhaust my options before I blank in a section, because it is very unattractive. I've said this in other videos. It turns clientele off when you are arguing with another dancer in a section. It is very ghetto. It gives low class. It is the ghetto, okay? If y'all also know me, and if you've been here for a long time, I like a little hood shit, okay? The hood love me, and I like a little hood shit. But I don't like ghetto shit. There's a difference. Hood shit, yes. Ghetto, no. She does that. I let it slide or whatever. I go back to dancing on his girlfriend. So he's throwing money on Blondie, but then he starts throwing money, because mind you, the way that Blondie's dancing, she's not facing him, but I'm facing him and the girlfriend, because I'm in the girlfriend's lap. Like, call me Miss Steal Your Bit, okay? But I'm just like, yo, it's your girlfriend's first time at a strip club. Like, I'm gonna make sure that she's having an awesome time. So I'm in the girlfriend's lap, and I'm facing the girlfriend. I'm dancing on her. And so he starts throwing money on me, like literally, and I could see it, because I'm facing him and the girlfriend. But like I said, I'm facing the girlfriend, but he's sitting beside her, so I can see him, of course. So I'm facing a girl from dance on her. So he starts throwing money on me, and then he'll throw money on Blondie, but then he's throwing money on me. Mind you, myself, my pile, and Blondie's pile are separate. Coco doing her own thing for the other couple. Me and Coco are also beside each other, but all three of our piles are very visibly separate. So Blondie turns around and she's like, are we, like, she literally goes to check me and it's like, oh, are we splitting this? Because, like, mind y'all, she said it with attitude. She's like, are we splitting this? Because my money's getting mixed up with your money, so I don't know what you want to do about that, but are we? I turned around, I said, don't try to check me in this section. Because first off, y'all know from my videos, I say this all the time, I'm always upping y'all on dancer etiquette, always putting y'all on game, and I also am very respectful when it comes to dancer etiquette. Like, y'all, when I say I'm very respectful when it comes to dancer etiquette, there have been times where I have not made the back that I could have made because I would have had to be a shiesty bitch to make it, and I'm just not like that. Like, I am not one of those dancers that is like, get so caught up in dance culture that dance culture has changed me. I'm not a mean girl in the club. I'm not finna snake you out no bread. I'm not finna you know, be trying to steal no clientele's attention away from you, no nothing. All that fugazi shit, I don't do that, and that's probably why I make a lot of freaking money, because I don't be doing no wild shit to people. So anyway, she tried to catch an attitude, so I turned around and I'm like, don't fucking try to check me in this section, because you already tried to be funny the first time. Y'all, when I said I went off, I said you already tried to be funny the first time, and you not finna call yourself trying to check me in this motherfucking section. Get the fuck out my face. I literally went, like, I went off, but I went off in like I was still trying to be low key, because I'm like, yo, we're in front of these clients, whatever. This is gonna look bad if I go off all the way. We're in front of these clients. So she proceeds to try to go back and forth with me for a little bit, and I'm like giving it to her, because at this point I'm like, F it. Like, you want to turn up in front of these people? All right, let's take it there. So she's going back and forth. Can't remember what was said, but I do remember her saying, well, it's fine, because she tried to say, bro, mind y'all, I get money in my club, bro. I get money in my club. A bitch in my club could never sit there and say that I don't be in there making my bread. So, and mind you, this was the first time I had ever seen Blondie. I've only seen her one time since this time. And so she's like, oh, I get money, so da-da-da, like, whatever, like, da-da-da, I get money. But the way she said it was like, I get money and you don't, type shit. And I'm just like, bitch, no one told you about me, because I'm finna hurt your feelings. I'm finna hurt your feelings. You finna be watching me make money for the rest of the night, because you just put a battery in my back. I'm really finna cut up now. So she says that or whatever. And I looked at her and I'm like, bitch, I get money too. Don't ever try to play me like I'm in here not getting no bread. Like, boom. So we have that exchange or whatever. It is, to me personally, I feel like it is super embarrassing that we even have that exchange in front of clients. Blondie grabs her money up and she walks away. Mind you, I'm like, why the fuck would you walk away? Because he still would have probably kept throwing you bread if you would have stayed. But then again, I don't know, because you could tell he kind of wasn't feeling her too much. And I don't feel like it was because I came in the section. I think it was more so because, I don't know, her attitude was just kind of like weird. It was just like hella, like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just kind of weird. So she grabs her stuff up, she leaves the section. Mind you, me and Coco's still in the section. We keep dancing. So I turn around, you know, after that whole exchange, after she storms off or whatever, I continue dancing for the couple. So he continues throwing, you know, his girl's throwing money on me still. He throwing money on me. I'm like, okay, cool. So I make a little back off them. And then, you know, I walk around, I'm dancing, whatever we'll do. But I'm hot because I'm like, bro, one thing I do not like to do, I'm gonna keep emphasizing this, I do not like to argue in front of clientele. So, you know, I'm walking around or whatever, but I had went to the bathroom because I'm like, I have to tell Kathy, because y'all know that's my girl. I'm like, I gotta tell Kathy, and I gotta tell my best friend Brie. And I literally proceed to go down to the bathroom, and I'm making an audio message, and I'm like, Kathy, you won't believe what just happened. This girl tried me in a section. I'm like, I'm a high, and I'm looking for this girl because as soon as I see her, I'm gonna say something. I'm finna blank on her. Mind you, if I say it, I'm gonna back it up. I am not somebody who's gonna fold. So I'm making this audio message to Kathy, and I'm like, I'm going off in the bathroom. So I think at one point, because at one point it was me and another girl in the bathroom at first. I don't know if I turned around or what, but somebody else came in the bathroom when I turned around. But I was still making an audio message. But I think maybe, I don't know, maybe I was pacing or what. But I wasn't facing the door when the next person came in the bathroom. So somebody's in the stall or whatever. I'm still going off. I'm telling her the story. Y'all, why the stall door open and it's Blondie? I said, Kathy, I gotta go because I'm finna check a bitch. I literally ended that audio so quick. I walk up to Blondie. I said, bitch, don't you ever catch yourself trying to check me in a motherfucking section. Yo, I went the off, okay, in that bathroom. So me and Blondie are now going at it because she's like, oh, you are disrespectful, da 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 da. So I'm like, B, I ain't do nothing disrespectful to you. If I want to do something disrespectful, you would know. And first off, don't you ever catch yourself trying to be funny with me in a section or trying to check me in front of no clientele, in front of no customer. And she's like, so we're going back and forth. So we start arguing to the point like it's getting loud. It's getting very loud. It's getting very intense. Because when I say I was down that girl's throat, and I'm gonna give it to her, she wasn't backing down either. We was both like literally having a screaming match in the bathroom. So we're going back and forth. Mind you, again, like I always say in New York, you can go back, the verbal shit, you know, that happens from time to time. That's the industry. But what you cannot do in New York is you cannot start swinging. You cannot fight in New York. So no matter how mad I get in a club, I will never let somebody fuck up my bread to the point where I swing on them and then I get fired. It will never happen. So unless it's in self-defense, like somebody would have to literally be like, somebody would have to touch me and I'm defending myself. But I would never sit there and turn up to the point where I get fired. Never. One thing I love is that motherfucking shmoney, okay? And I'm not gonna give it up. I'm not coming up off of it. So, and especially not over no bit, girl, never. So these girls come in and they're like, oh my god, we hear you guys outside, like what's going on, what's wrong, like, you know, they're breaking us up. They're like, you know, somebody has to come, like somebody come with me, somebody come with, like, they're splitting us up and asking us both at the same time what happened. So long story short, but already semi long, but hella short compared to my other stories, they take us out of the bathroom. There's no dramatic ending to this because literally that's all it was. Like we got into it really bad in the bathroom. We was going blow for blow, like verbal blow for blow in the bathroom. And then they ended up taking me and her out of the bathroom and just separating us both. And that was the end of it. And like I said, I've only seen that girl one other time since then. And the one other time that I saw her was also on a night where I was making a big bet. And honestly, I don't even feel like, I honestly, I changed my hair so much. I don't even feel like she probably remembers getting into an altercation with me. I'm not sure. And I don't care. So yes, that is the end of this little raunchy story of mine. Please don't think that I always be on that rah-rah, just because I tend to tell you guys the rah-rah stories. But I do have a couple more stories for you guys that I will share. So if you see me in the same outfit, just know that I'm recording all this in one night because it's been a long time since I recorded. So I'm trying to get out some content because the month of February has been whooping my ass. Okay, the month of February has been so busy. I did a week in Houston on a dance trip, came back, danced literally the day after I came back from Houston, danced the whole entire week after I came back from Houston. Then I went to DC for a bachelorette. Now I'm in the process of moving because I literally move out of my apartment on Monday, and as I'm recording this, it is Wednesday. So the month of February has been whooping. So yes, that's why you guys have not gotten content for a month. But if you like this story time, then please give it a thumbs up. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out the membership for the celebrity story time, or I might post it normally. We will see. Y'all will see. I'll let y'all know. All my social medias are down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.